So, classifying all the X guards and leg entries from the X guards and how to get to the X guards. So, basic X guard, underhook the leg and one leg on the hip, other one on the knee. Reverse X guard, switch the position of the legs. Now, modified X guard and modified reverse X guard is the same thing, but instead of an underhook on the leg with your arm, you're overhooking it. So the first normal X guard is better for sweeping, like with a tripod sweep of the far leg and technical stand-ups. Reverse X guard is better for, well, the interplay between them is basically how it works. So you threaten to come up with a technical sweep stand-up, and when the opponent pressures back into you, you go for the standard cross-ashi entry on the second leg by elevating them. Now, modified X guard, when you're overhooking their leg, is better to go into ankle locks on the primary leg. You can, if you face them, it's gonna be easier to go into butterfly ashi. And still the same sweeps. It's, in my opinion, a bit better to control with the overhook than with the underhook. Now, Ushiro is when you bring the leg from, for example, your left to your right, or you bring the leg from over your head, so you're behind your opponent. So, normal Ushiro X guard is when you underhook the leg. Same thing, just like a normal X guard, but the leg is on your other side, so you're behind your opponent more or less. The normal Ushiro X guard with the X guard placement and the underhook isn't really used. I mean, the only thing I can really think of going that would be high percentage is just going for a crab ride, like standing on the opponent, like the Kiss of the Dragon, and then breaking them down from there. But what is more used is the reverse Ushiro X guard. So now that's a great position. You still have, for all the Ushiro X guards, you can abandon that and go to the standing crab ride on the opponent. But the benefits of the reverse Ushiro X guard is that you can basically enter any cross-ashi leg entanglement on any leg. So reverse would be just like in normal X guard to reverse X guard, you just switch the legs. So getting what you can do, you can still elevate and go into the cross-ashi on the secondary leg, which you aren't underhooking, and the bonus of the leg being overhead is that you're in basically double cross-ashi, right? So you have them in cross-ashi, and the secondary leg is not only controlled, but it's all the way over your second hip, so there is basically no escape from that. You can also go to cross-ashi on the primary leg by just elevating, by just like controlling the primary leg and getting your hips over and going into backside cross-ashi or normal cross-ashi. You can also enter backside 50-50 on each of the legs, so it would be easier on the primary leg, which you are controlling. And in my opinion, it's better to do it when you're in modified reverse Ushiro X guard, which fucking I ain't saying all that. That's a lot of words, but it's basically the same. But instead of an underhook, you're controlling it with an overhook. And I think, like in most positions, it's just better to be controlling it with an overhook instead of an underhook, the leg, because you have immediate heel exposure. So a modified reverse Ushiro X guard, you can make a bit of an angle and throw your top leg over the primary leg, and you're in backside 50-50. You can even go to backside double 50, and same thing on the secondary leg. When you're in modified reverse Ushiro X guard, you just, instead of being like 90 degrees to your opponent, like when you're basically like your two lines and they're both facing the same way, you go kind of like to a crab ride, and bam, with your bottom leg you go under their secondary leg, and 2 backside 50-50 on the secondary leg, or a backside double 50 when you're blocking and back healing the secondary or primary leg, whichever. So if you are in backside 50-50, backside double 50-50 or backside double 50 would be your secondary leg back healing on their secondary leg. So the primary leg would be controlled by the backside 50-50. But when I'm talking about primary and secondary, I'm talking from the Modified Reverse Ushiro X guard. So the one you're overhooking would be the primary, and the secondary would be the one that you're controlling with your legs. But when I'm talking about backside 50-50 and transitioning to backside double 50, it kind of switches, because the primary leg becomes the one on which you would be heel hooking. So you can enter both of them. The cross ashi, backside cross ashi, or fuck. So that's the reason with the terminology in Danaher Death Squad, or how it's taught. It's called saddle, right? Because cross ashi is any position where the leg is over your hip. So 50-50 and backside 50-50 is cross ashi, and saddle is cross ashi, and the reap outside the ashigarami, the basic ashigarami, they are straight ashi. But they're just the squad, they call it cross ashi, they call saddle, which doesn't really make sense. But yeah, you can enter backside saddle, you can enter saddle, you can enter backside 50-50, you can enter backside double 50, you can you can also, for some reason, if you want to, you can go to the fishnet or crackhead or stoner control, something in the terms by the dictionary, which is basically from Ushiro Reverse X guard or Ushiro X guard. You're basically, it would be easier from reverse modified Ushiro X guard. So you're overhooking the primary leg, reverse X guard the secondary leg. So you drop your leg that will be down. You drop it to the instep and the ankle of the secondary leg, and you shoot your primary leg over and under, and basically you lock a lockdown on their secondary leg, and you're controlling their primary leg, and you can use it to sweep, you can use it to come up, hit the evaporator, all that Dance Planet shit. You can also mostly just hit the tripod sweep from most of those positions. And if you are in Ushiro X guard, then you hit modified reverse Ushiro X guard, in my opinion, is the best of all of the X guards, because you can go crab ride, you can go sweep, you can go basically any leg entanglement on any of your opponent's legs, backside 50-50, backside double 50 on each of the legs, cross ashi, saddle, backside saddle on both of the legs, saddle with the second leg controlled and being over your hip, yeah. But what about modified Ushiro X guard? So not reverse. Well, that's when I think you can just go for the tripod sweep. So you control the primary leg, X guard, bam, you a bit elevate them with your top leg, and you sweep out their secondary leg, and you are behind them, so you can basically come up to a leg drag. So that's basically all the X guards. Yeah. Oh, and also I wanted to add, how do you get to them? So the most high percentage and because those are pretty hard positions to enter. Like from basically any ashigarami, you can go some basic ashigarami. You can go to X guard or reverse X guard, and then you can work on transferring the leg into Ushiro X guard or modified Ushiro X guard. But also another option is from reverse de la Hiva. So when you invert all the way through from reverse de la Hiva, you do end up in Ushiro Reverse X guard. And from Ushiro Reverse X guard, you can basically always go to Modified Reverse Ushiro X guard, which is the best. And what I've been thinking is you can go from a high single leg to that position. So basically, imagine single leg, you shoot for a single leg, then you, like, left single leg. So, head on the opponent's chest, left arm, you hold a single leg, right leg you lock. So when you're going to a high single leg position, you step back with your right, with your secondary leg, and you grab the opponent's heel with your secondary arm, and you hike it up to the armpit. And when Sonya Dong and Damian Anderson were rolling, that's when I noticed they were doing some pretty cool stuff from there. Anderson was. So when you're in that position, you can just kind of push the arm and go to a rear body lock. So, bam, you hike it up. The opponent tries to post on you. You push their arm by, and you can chase the back. But how does this relate to Reverse Ushiro X guard? So when you are holding the leg, it's basically Kosashi, but without any leg control. So you go for a single leg, left. So for example, left single leg, bam. With your left arm, you wrap around their leg. Right arm, you control it. So you hold their knee, cupping it from the bottom up. You step back with your right leg. You grab their heel and you bring it up to your hip. So you're kind of holding it like a log, right? Now you switch the grip to like if you were in a Modified Reverse Ushiro X guard. You're just holding it like an ankle lock grip with your right arm, and your left arm doesn't really matter in my opinion. But you can go like, imagine you're in saddle, you're cupping the knee so the opponent doesn't roll as fast, and you're digging for the heel, right? So imagine just cupping the knee the same way. So you hold an ankle lock grip with your right arm, cupping the opponent's knee and pulling it back. Feet. Oliver Taza and Steven Strangles people. I had a great video on that, inverting from Kawasashi. So you cup the knee and you just sit down. And you just sit down and you cross your legs. And you are in Modified Reverse Ushiro X guard from a high single leg position. So bam, you hike their leg up, control it with an overhook, cup the knee, flare your elbow in, and you just sit down. You pull them over yourself and you sit down. And you're in Modified Reverse Ushiro X guard from standing. And then you can go into all of the attacks. And also another great way, Robert Deagle showed it. I'm not sure how it's called, but I think it's getting a backside 50-50 from Reverse de la Hiva. And basically it's getting double 50 from Modified Reverse Ushiro X guard, but he doesn't really say it like Modified Reverse Ushiro X guard. He just goes to an inversion from Reverse de la Hiva, and instead of settling in Reverse Ushiro X guard, he just overhooks the left leg, the secondary leg in this hypothetical situation, and throws over the secondary leg, and he is in double 50. So imagine invert from Reverse de la Hiva, you're in backside reverse, you're in Modified Reverse Ushiro X guard, but imagine you don't switch to it, and so you just invert from Reverse de la Hiva. So you have one leg on the back of their knee, and one leg on the back, like a crab ride hook, right? And you pummel it in, and you go to the sitting, like breaking the person down from a seated crab ride when they're standing. But what you can also do is, imagine, one crab ride hook, one back of your knee to the back of their knee. You can just pummel the crab ride hook inside, bring it out, and go to a backside 50-50. And because your second leg is on the back of their knee, you end up in backside double 50. So going from the reverse de la Hiva, you invert, and then you go under and over their secondary leg, and you're in backside double 50 from an inversion from reverse de la Hiva.